5 psychological signs your partner is cheating. On the surface, everything seems fine. But you just can't shake that feeling in your gut that something is deeply wrong. You tell yourself you're just being paranoid, but your partner's sudden emotional distance and weirdly defensive attitude are like silent alarms you just can't ignore. What if those feelings aren't just in your head? That nagging dread in the pit of your stomach. That's often your intuition picking up on tiny shifts that your conscious mind is still trying to figure out. We're not talking about cliches like lipstick on a collar. The deepest betrayals often start long before there's any hard evidence. They begin with a psychological and emotional retreat, a quiet turning away that can leave you feeling confused, alone, and even questioning your own sanity. In this video, we're going to break down the 5 key psychological signs that your partner's heart might already belong to someone else. By the end, you'll have more of the clarity you've been searching for. These signs aren't about what's said, but what's unspoken, the quiet giveaways that their emotional energy is being spent somewhere else. Let's get into the first sign. Sign 1: emotional distance and withdrawal. The first, and maybe the most significant psychological sign, is a deep and persistent emotional distance. This isn't about your partner having a bad day or needing a little space. This is a fundamental change in the emotional weather of your relationship. It feels like a solid wall has gone up where there used to be an open window. You'll start to notice that conversations that once flowed easily now feel shallow and forced. They stop sharing the little details about their day, their worries, or their wins. When you ask how are you, you get a one-word answer like fine or okay, but there's no real substance behind it. It's like you're talking to a polite stranger, not the person you share your life with. This emotional withdrawal is often the biggest giveaway of infidelity, sometimes even more than suspicious texts. Psychologically, this happens for a couple of reasons. First, the guilt and internal conflict make it incredibly hard for someone to stay emotionally close. To really connect with you means they have to face the lie they're living, and that's deeply uncomfortable. So, they pull back. Second, and this one hurts more, their emotional energy is being redirected. A person only has so much to give. If they're investing deeply in a connection outside the relationship, there's simply less left for you. They might stop talking about future plans or seem completely indifferent to shared goals that used to excite both of you. You might even find that you feel lonelier with them than you do when you're alone. That feeling of disconnection, even when you're in the same room, is a powerful sign that their emotional presence has already checked out of the relationship. Sign 2: sudden and intense defensiveness. The second sign, and one that trips a lot of people up, is a sudden spike in defensiveness over simple, everyday questions. A healthy relationship has room for curiosity. Where were you? Who was that on the phone? These are usually normal questions between partners. But when someone is hiding something, these same questions feel like an attack, and they react with a shocking amount of intensity. You might ask about their schedule and get hit with, "Why are you always checking up on me?" Or "Don't I get any privacy?" This is a classic deflection tactic. The goal is to flip the script and make you the bad guy. Your valid concern is suddenly twisted into paranoia, jealousy, or controlling behavior. This is a form of gaslighting, a manipulation strategy meant to make you question your own perception and sanity. A partner with nothing to hide will usually just answer the question. They might get annoyed if they feel wrongly accused, but their goal is to clear up the misunderstanding. A cheating partner's defensiveness isn't about finding a resolution. It's about shutting down the conversation entirely. They create conflict to avoid the conversation. The anger is just a smokescreen to make you back off and feel guilty for even asking. Pay close attention to this shift. If your partner used to be an open book and now treats every question like an accusation, it's a huge psychological red flag. It signals they're living on high alert, constantly guarding a secret and seeing you as a threat to it. Sign 3: prioritizing someone else emotionally. This next one is tough because it's so personal and subtle. It's when you realize you're no longer your partner's main emotional confidant. Infidelity isn't just physical, it's also about emotional intimacy, the kind that's supposed to be reserved for your primary partner. When that priority shifts, it's a profound betrayal. This sign often shows up when your partner starts sharing big news, asking for advice, or celebrating wins with someone else first. Maybe they get a promotion, and you hear about it after their friend already knows all the details. Or they're facing a tough choice and turn to this other person for guidance instead of you. You start to feel like you're getting the second-hand, watered-down version of your partner's life. This shift in emotional energy is the foundation of what experts call an emotional affair. It's about who gets their mental and emotional focus. If you notice your partner constantly brings up this new person, quotes their opinions, or even compares you to them, it's a clear sign this person is taking up a lot of space in their head. The loyalty and emotional support that once belonged to you are slowly being given away. This often goes hand in hand with more secrecy, especially with their phone, because that's the main line of communication with their new emotional anchor. The problem isn't your partner having friends. It's when the friendship crosses a line, and another person starts getting the emotional intimacy that should be just for your relationship. When you're no longer the first person they want to tell things to, good or bad, it's a strong sign their emotional loyalty has shifted. Before we get to our last two signs, if any of this is hitting home for you, take a moment to subscribe and click the like button. More importantly, the comment section is a community of people who have been through similar, painful situations. If you feel up to it, share your own story or a sign you noticed. You aren't alone in this, and your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. Sharing is a powerful step toward healing. Sign for increased criticism and devaluation of you. One of the most painful and psychologically damaging signs of cheating is when your partner starts to devalue you with constant criticism. This isn't just normal couples bickering. It's a clear shift where things you've always done are suddenly wrong. The way you laugh, the way you dress, your opinions, your friends, everything becomes a target for digs, sarcasm, or outright insults. This behavior is often fueled by a powerful psychological process called cognitive dissonance. A cheater is holding to opposite beliefs. I am a good, loyal person, and I am betraying my partner. This contradiction creates a ton of internal stress. To relieve that stress, their brain looks for a way to justify their actions. And the easiest way to do that is to convince themselves that you are flawed and somehow deserve it. By constantly finding fault with you, they are subconsciously building a case to make their affair feel justified. They might say things like, "You're no fun anymore," or "You've really let yourself go." These comments are designed to chip away at your self-esteem and, in their mind, rationalize their decision to find comfort elsewhere. It's a cruel way of shifting the blame. Instead of them being the one who broke a promise, their story becomes, "I was driven to it because my partner is so difficult, unattractive, etc." This constant devaluing can destroy your sense of self-worth. It creates a hostile and emotionally unsafe environment where you feel like you're always walking on eggshells. If the person who is supposed to be your biggest cheerleader has become your harshest critic, it's often a sign they're not just struggling with you, but with a secret they're trying to justify to themselves. Sign 5: a complete lack of emotional intimacy and vulnerability. Our final sign brings us full circle, but it goes even deeper than just emotional distance. It's the total collapse of emotional intimacy and vulnerability. In a healthy relationship, you are each other's safe space to be vulnerable, to share your deepest fears, your biggest dreams, and your ugliest moments without judgment. When infidelity comes into the picture, that safe space often disappears. This looks like your partner completely shutting down when it comes to confiding in you. They no longer share their insecurities or ask for your support. The relationship can start to feel more like your roommates than partners. You manage schedules and share a home, but that soul-to-soul connection is just gone. This isn't an accident, it's a deliberate withholding. They are no longer letting you in because that would mean being truly seen, and their guilt and divided heart can't handle that kind of honesty. Emotional intimacy is the glue of a relationship. It's the us against the world feeling that gets you through tough times. When a partner is cheating, they are often getting that validation from someone else, so they don't need it from you anymore. This creates a profound feeling of isolation for the faithful partner. You might feel that something is wrong with your partner, but every time you try to connect, you're met with a closed door. If your attempts to have a deep conversation are always deflected, or if you realize you no longer have a clue what's really going on inside their head, it's a devastating sign that you've been locked out of their heart. They're no longer vulnerable with you because that vulnerability is being given to someone else. So, let's recap the 5 psychological signs: a persistent emotional distance, sudden and intense defensiveness, prioritizing someone else emotionally, an increase in criticism, and a complete lack of emotional intimacy. If you recognize several of these signs in your relationship, it's completely understandable to feel scared, hurt, and confused. These psychological shifts are often the first small tremors before the earthquake, the subtle warnings that the foundation of your relationship is at risk. The most important thing to take away from this is to trust your intuition. That gut feeling that something is off is not paranoia. It's your heart and mind picking up on a real shift in your reality. Validating your own feelings is the first step toward reclaiming your power and getting the clarity you deserve. Your peace of mind is everything. Whether these signs lead to a difficult conversation, a painful truth, or a renewed commitment to honesty, trusting yourself is the only way to move forward. You deserve a relationship where you feel seen, valued, and emotionally safe. Never, ever doubt that.